things just got a whole load worse for Meghan Markle because her sister Samantha ain't going anywhere, with new headlines in the US about this bombshell new court battle taking place next month.
Okay, folks, grab your popcorn because this one is messy. Just when Meghan Markle thought she was moving on from her royal escape and building her shiny California lifestyle brand, boom, her half-sister Samantha Markle drags her right back into the mud. And let me tell you, this isn't some tabloid spat.
So, Sam is with me today on Outspoken. We will discuss this in just one moment, but this is what the New York Post is reporting. Meghan Markle is gearing up for yet another legal bout with her half-sister Samantha Markle, the Post can confirm. The Duchess of Sussex emerged victorious in early 2023 after Samantha had sued her in federal court in Florida for allegedly making demonstrably false and malicious statements about her to a world audience during a sit-down interview with Oprah Winfrey. Samantha filed the $75,000 lawsuit after the 44-year-old told Winfrey that she grew up as an only child during her and Prince Harry's bombshell March 2021 interview. However, documents obtained by the Post show that the hearing will now take place on September the 9th in Jacksonville, Florida. The Post has reached out to Meghan's reps for comment. Prior to her 2023 filing, Sam had previously filed her libel lawsuit against Meghan in late 2022, 2 years after the Sussexes quit royal life and moved to the US. But Rob Shooter has new reporting on this, revealing that actually Meghan Markle has been left livid, that Sam just won't go away. The headline, Duchess fumes as Samantha Markle drags her back to court and back into the spotlight. Rob Shooter writes, Meghan Markle is done playing nice. Sources tell Shooter Scoop the Duchess of Sussex is absolutely livid that estranged half-sister Samantha Markle has revived her defamation lawsuit, forcing Meghan back into a courtroom and back into a headline-making family feud she wants nothing to do with. She's furious, says an insider. She's tried to move on with her life. Samantha's obsessed. She just won't go away. The new court date is set for September the 9th in Jacksonville, Florida, reigniting the war over Meghan's 2021 Oprah claim that she grew up as an only child. Samantha insists the remark was damaging and untrue. Meghan calls the whole thing a meritless PR stunt. To make things even messier, Thomas Markle Sr. reportedly willing to testify again, and Samantha's planning a media blitz and possibly another book to coincide with the trial. This is Meghan's worst nightmare, the source says. She's trying to build a brand, land new deals, and stay focused, and now she's stuck battling the same ghosts from her past. Bottom line, Meghan's not backing down, but she's furious this fight isn't over. So, Samantha Markle, there's the briefing from people close to your sister. She's furious. She's saying, she's just trying to move on with her life. She's trying to say that you are obsessed. But you're not going away, and why should you?
We're talking about lawsuits, courtroom battles, media blitzes, and even the potential of their dad, Thomas Markle, testifying against Meghan in open court. Now, Meghan has spent years controlling her narrative through Oprah, Netflix, Spotify, even carefully choreographed Instagram rebrands.
Well, it's not a matter of not going away. It's that in Netflix and Oprah and some other stuff, horrible things were said about me that weren't true. And, even though it's not defamation item by item, all things taken together, she had executive control. They wwere purposely put there, in my opinion, to make me look bad, which incited violence against me. It hurt it was a character assassination. And damaging to me in a lot of ways. And so I don't, it's not like she came out and publicly said things. She doesn't come out and publicly say things, as a royal and with her PR and with her staff. She has other people put that out for her. And in my opinion, that doesn't make her any less culpable. So there was a lot of damage done to me. It was fake news PR. People have said to me, Samantha, well, how is it fake news about you, But then the things that are being said about her out there now are not fake news about you. Well, here's the difference. I don't have the power to pay a PR house and television shows and magazines to put out articles about her. I don't have the power to combat the articles that are false that are put out there about me and about my dad. She does. And so there's no one on this planet that can tell me with her ego that the articles that go out about family aren't directed by her or approved by her, because she does hold the PR cards. I do not. And that's the difference. So, small towns in Poland, remember that fake article that said Samantha's on a fixated persons list? I got proof from Scotland Yard and Met Police that never existed. I was never in their computer, and it's still in a Google search. I don't have the power to remove it. And there's an article out there that said that was at the behest of her protection officer, who allegedly went to Roy Anika and put that fake article out there.
Who's
now,
the
I'm
royal
a mental
editor of
health
the Sunday
counselor.
Times?
Yeah, the Sunday Times. I'm a mental health counselor. So if everyone in the world is making me look like Patricia Hearst, wouldn't that be injurious, not only to my professional, but my personal life? It was horrific that I saw small towns in Poland. I saw people around the world saying, even Fox News erroneously said, Meghan Markle's sister has landed herself on a fixated persons list. Nobody did their homework. Nobody contacted Scotland Yard. So I had a lawyer in London do that. And she said, here's proof. You were never in their computer. There's not a fixated persons list. You're not even there. This is not true. And I did a live interview. I held up that letter to Daily Mail TV. But why is it that nobody in the world printed that to exonerate me? Because it doesn't get the quarter-hour share ratings. It's not, the big buzz, the sensation. It's not the clickbait. So everyone around the world thought I was on a fixated persons list. Not true. Highly defamatory. But, I can't go back to 2018 and sue. And by the time I figured out what was going on, I had I hadn't run the statutory window, but I don't have the resources to go and sue every publication in the world who prints that. And they didn't all say allegedly or reportedly. A lot of them just said it verbatim. Samantha Markle is on a fixated persons list. It's not true. And it was at the direction of her to somebody that worked with her. Shame on you. That's horrible defamation. That's not part of my suit, but that is part of the big picture. And I shouldn't have had to go through that.
Absolutely not. Sam, has she ever tried to make amends? Has she ever tried to end this lawsuit by, for example, offering to settle with you and publicly apologize?
But courtrooms, those don't play by PR rules. If this trial actually goes ahead, it could crack her carefully polished public image wide open. Back in 2021, Meghan and Harry sat down with Oprah and dropped those infamous bombs, racism allegations, suicidal thoughts, royal betrayals. But buried in all that drama was one line that lit a fuse in her own family.
No, and it's not about the money. I mean, in a way it is, because it took almost 7 years of my life, all of these things taken together. Think about it. I couldn't have a social life because people believe this stuff. If I went to the doctor's office, people would look at me the minute they heard my name like, oh my God, because they had read all of these horrible articles in bold font headlines that were not true. And, I could try like hell to convince everybody that it wasn't true, but they would think, well, if it wasn't true, why did Fox News say it? Because they didn't know then about aggregate news and fake news. Thank God President Trump pointed it out, because it is a phenomenon that we've had a problem with cumulatively, especially in the United States. But I never thought I would find myself in the crosshairs of that. So, not having the financial resources to just sue everybody and give everybody cease and desist letters rendered me a victim. So I was totally powerless to do anything about it. And I'm
And
coming
your
out of it
sister
now.
wanted that, didn't she, Sam? That's the point. She wanted to destroy you because, of course, you were one of the only people who truly knew about her past and had alerted the world very early on via people like me as to why the royal family needed to be warned. And anyone can look back now and say, well, actually, what Sam was saying at the time was very moderate, because what has happened has come true times a million.
Right.
Times a million.
Right.
I mean, you weren't saying, look, she's going to try and bring down the whole royal family and say that you were racist, but you were saying to Harry, be very, very careful about trusting this woman, because you'd experienced it. Your family had experienced it.
Well, William allegedly said the same thing, but it's not like all of these articles said
he did say the same thing.
These articles said Samantha's bashing her sister. I wasn't bashing her just because I was out there defending our father. I was out there saying, pointing out which articles were not true. I was out there saying she didn't get grants or scholarships. She didn't work for the embassy. I was pointing out the lies. And I've never been out there slinging mud like some trolls in social media, calling her names or saying things that weren't true about her personal life. I stuck to scope. I was out there defending the truth. I was out there pointing out what were lies about our family. But she seemingly wanted to silence that bad boy fast. It's like, so the best way to deflect and silence someone is to assassinate their character and throw dirt on them. So anytime they talk, people won't believe them. I think that was the goal. That's exactly what happened to me. It's zapped 7 years of my life, at least, and I want it back. So, there's got to be a rebuilding of my reputation online, but I can't go back. I can't even have Grok. I should talk to Elon about this somehow. I can't have Grok go back, pull all of those false citations that were pulling from false aggregate news and leftist publications.
Tell me about it. They did the same thing to me, Sam. They did the same thing to me, and Grok still looks at those articles. It's terrible.
You can't remove all those. And so how is AI ever to move forward with fresh, truth-based information while all of that is still in the archives in cyberspace?
So, Sam, a couple of specific details that came up in this shooter scoop story. He reported that your dad is willing to testify again. Is that true? Because, of course, since the last trial, he has had this really debilitating stroke and is, of course, currently in the Philippines.
He's actually doing better. Thankfully, the area, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me mentioning this, the area of the brain that was damaged wasn't the part of his brain that associates and recognizes words and things. It was the production part of his brain, the part of the brain that controls the motor and the tongue. So being able to say the words, it was more of a physical thing. So yes, he is cognitively high functioning again, albeit tired, as anyone would be at his age. But, I'm sure it's bittersweet, but yeah, he said before he'd be willing to testify because the truth is the truth.
The September 9th hearing is crucial. It'll determine if this goes to trial or fizzles out. But even a hearing means headlines, commentary, speculation. Meghan can't win here. If it proceeds to trial, brace yourself for one of the ugliest family courtroom dramas in modern celebrity history. Imagine Thomas Markle reading out private letters, Samantha laying out years of alleged defamation, and Meghan forced to defend her truth, not to Oprah, not to Netflix.
It's and it's sad that he's put in that position, but I think the onus is on her. People can't say, oh, well, you would make your dad testify. I'm not making him testify. He wants to. I think there's an attribution error there. She shouldn't, in my opinion, have done all this and put him in this position. She shouldn't have tried to erase him and discredit him. The man who gave her everything her whole life. Every new, this is rhetorical, every nuance, every dance class, every moment, not just paying for everything, but being there, being the consummate hands-on dad. How can she take that away from him and act like it doesn't exist? Without dad, sunshine, you would be nothing. That's my opinion. He hooked you up with Northwestern. Many of the alumni reportedly worked on suits. You wouldn't have met them if dad had not paid for all of the classes, had you hang out at the studios at ABC. Dad gave you everything that you are. And when you got to a point where you felt you were successful and you thought you could run with the ball on your own, you decided to shut his part of the game down, shut him out as a player in your life, thinking that, you could be the whole team. Well, how's that working out for you? Because it didn't put you in a favorable public light. I think a lot of the controversy is that the jig is up. People have your measure, and you can't treat people like this to get ahead. It would have been much easier just to be honest, appreciative, real, truthful, and not self-centered, giving in the real sense, whether it's as a humanitarian in all of your social endeavors or in your personal life. And, I wonder if people like Chrissy Teigen and Jamie Kern-Lima, I wonder if they have the ability to think about that and to wonder if they are next to be markled or ghosted. They would have to be stupid, in my opinion, not to get it. If you want to see how someone's going to treat you, watch how they treat everyone else in their life. Oh, don't get me started on Trevor, a Hollywood Prince Charming who gave her everything and who reportedly said that she left him and made him feel like gum on a shoe. Consummate gentleman, very successful, would have given her the world. And I'm glad he's happy now and moved forward in his life. Congratulations, Trevor.
Yeah, very good point. Lovely wife and children, but someone who isn't happy though, Sam, and is really struggling is Jessica Mulroney, who was Meghan's best friend, and her whole life has collapsed. And actually, her friends have now told the Daily Mail very recently that she actually pinpoints it all to Meghan, and all of the issues with Meghan have effectively destroyed her life. So this is a common theme.
See, I think it's weird. I kind of take issue with attaching to new people and all of a sudden they're your BFF. I think Nanaki Pretty. I think if someone is your best friend, they have a history with you. They've known you for so many years. So when I looked at Jessica Mulroney when the whole thing started, I thought, no, she only knows about my sister what my sister wants to tell her. So that's a really narrow scope. So how can you say you're best friends when everything has been shaped by someone controlling the narrative? I think that really misses the mark of what friendship is all about. So, I feel sorry for Jessica that she's not in the picture anymore. But similarly, when Jessica looked at how Meg treated the family and Nanaki, why wouldn't Jessica have said or asked herself, I wonder if I'm next. Look how she treated her real best friend of so many years. Look how she treated her family, Trevor, her own dad. So in a way, I feel like, come on, folks, we're adults. You should have, that's not difficult math to do. But I hope Jessica is in a better place now, too.
But to a judge, that's not just another tabloid story. That's history. At the end of the day, this whole saga boils down to control. Meghan has built her brand by controlling the narrative, painting herself as the underdog silenced by the big bad institution. But Samantha's lawsuit threatens to flip the script, casting Meghan as a bully, not the victim. And let's be real, even if Meghan wins legally, the damage to her image might be irreversible. Every headline about this case reminds the world she's at war with her own family. Every whisper about Thomas testifying reminds people of the father she abandoned. Meghan wanted to move forward with wine launches, lifestyle brands, Hollywood friends. Instead, she's being dragged back to Jacksonville, Florida, to face the very ghost she thought she buried. So here's a million-dollar question. If Thomas Markle takes a stand, is this the moment Meghan's credibility finally collapses? Or will she somehow twist even this into another victim story? One thing's for sure, this is going to be messy.